Okay, hello, happy new year, everybody. Capricorns, it is your season. Let's get into it. Monthly reading for January. So, first, it might have started out a little rocky. I'm seeing like kind of a spiraling in the heart chakra. You're moving through these heavier emotions. You're moving through, like, first card we have is emotional loss. Number 5. 5 is number of movement, and it is in the heart. So yes, you're processing a lot of emotions in your heart. Knowing though that there's light at the end of the tunnel. This is temporary. You're just going through it for a minute, figuring out, what is really for you, what is really not for you. Discerning. New year, new you guys. Anyway. Then we go into movement, choices, and decisions into the physical realm. So into your actual life, after processing this spiraling of the heart, these heavier, denser emotions, we go into having to make decisions in our physical world, in our physical realm. So it's number 2. We have all these different options of doors you can walk through. So which door are you going to pick? You have all these options of what to do. Obviously you want to stay on your highest path, but also taking the road less traveled will be more rewarding in the end. So maybe try taking the road less traveled. Try something that you haven't tried before. Try opening a new door, opening more opportunities for yourself to grow and explore yourself and explore the world around you. Also, kind of what keeps you in balance. Don't make a decision that will completely throw you off balance. You want to stay on the beam. You want to stay on that middle path while still feeding your flame, while still feeding what you need. But it's kind of discerning. Okay, I'm going through this. Which way can I move? How am I going to process this? How am I going to act based on what I'm feeling? What is best for me? What will best keep me in balance while still remaining in my fire, in my... in what works for me. And then we're going through some work with the solar plexus. So realizing that you can do anything you put your mind to. So realizing that any of these doors will be fertile grounds for you to move and grow and expand. You might have to do some work feeding your inner flame, feeding the fire within you. What sparks that passion, that excitement? Choose that door. Choose the door that sparks something within you, and it will make you kind of, it's working on the solar plexus. We're working on the solar plexus, which is right here. How can we shine our light? How can we recognize our light? How can we recognize what kind of like sets our soul on fire? What gives us that creative passion? Like I just said, choose that door. That's how we're moving out of this kind of emotional turmoil. So creating things is a good way to do that, or just getting them out of you so you can see them more objectively by writing them down. And then we have a kind of shift here. So you're being pushed to stand your ground. You're being pushed to set your boundaries. The people around you, there might be some competitive nature. You're being pushed to say what you want to say, set your boundaries so that your soul can thrive more. So your soul is telling you to stand your ground. This is a soul card. It's number 7, so it has to do with spirituality. Once you do stand your ground, you'll realize that more doors will open up for you. It's not just like, I'm gonna say what I have to say and then things will go back to normal. No, stand your ground, set your boundaries, be firm in what you believe. And then after that, another 7, which is like, yes, thank you for standing your ground. Now we have Triumph, which is a major arcana, which comes after all these little minor arcanas. So the major arcana is like a bigger lesson that we're learning. So once you learn to stand your ground, protect your energy, set your boundaries and stick to them, Triumph. The world will reward you. The universe will reward you for establishing what you need for yourself, for your soul. Your soul will thank you for it. And then we're going into some foundational work. So I'm gonna say like probably around mid-month, you're going to realize like the base chakra is, or your root chakra is located at the bottom of your spine. And this is kind of like building a good foundation, right? If we don't have a solid foundation beneath us, then everything will kind of crumble down. It all starts with the base, and feeding the base is take a seat of awareness and be like, okay, what kind of foods am I eating? Am I drinking enough water? Am I treating myself good? What does my daily routine look like? Is it sustaining me? Is it feeding my soul? Go back and ask yourself these questions, because this is going to be, it's like once you get through that initial like, okay, I'm figuring out like what's going on emotionally, I'm making moves in the world, I'm feeding my creativity and my fire in order to stand my ground, in order to be triumphant, in order for my soul to thank me. And then we go into this, okay, now reestablish your foundation. Yes, so it's so important to have a strong foundation. Like I said before, if you do not have a strong foundation, then your energy will kind of, crumble down and you'll have to rebuild. So why not make it strong in the first place? What does your morning routine look like? What do you do throughout the day? Are you on your phone a lot? Start analyzing these things from an outsider perspective and start clearing the things that don't work for you anymore. This is a new year. It's time to get your shit together and build this foundation that's strong. Okay? After that, it's a rejoice in celebration. So it's like your heart will thank you, your emotions will thank you, you'll feel better. Once you establish this foundation, once you start doing what you know what you're supposed to do, it's like there's 3 people like holding up cups. It's very big heart energy. Like I said, your heart will thank you. You'll start feeling good. You'll start being like, yes, I know I did what I had to do. But you just have to take those steps. You just have to move through that. Next we have spiritual union. So once you build this foundation, you might start building this spiritual, like recognizing that what you do in the physical impacts how you feel, impacts your heart, impacts your soul, impacts your mind. So you might be building a spiritual union with yourself or with your close counsel, realizing that you think the same ways, realizing that, oh, we're all building these new foundations. Once I got my, once you get your life together and you build this solid foundation, you'll realize, oh, okay, they also have a solid foundation. We're gonna grow together. So kind of like recognizing your own spirituality, recognizing that the things you do in the physical impact how you feel, impact your soul, impact your mind, like you just said. So it is good. It's like, okay, you build this foundation, now you find people to match your vibration. And then we might have some discontent and boredom. So once you build this foundation, you might realize that the things you used to be doing just aren't fulfilling you anymore. You might feel it, you're gonna feel it in your heart. It's going to be like, okay, I realize what I've built for myself, but it's not quite working anymore. You might have to make some changes, or like recognizing it, becoming aware that your discontent is the first step into coming into this new territory, coming into these greater time periods for yourself. So, okay, we're standing our ground, we're building our foundations. After each of these things, it's like a level up. So then you kind of find this little sense of spirituality within yourself or within the world around you. Then it might show you like, okay, the things that I were doing that were kind of taking up all my time, I'm discontent or I'm bored or I need to find that other new spark. Right after that, we go into this shift. It might be towards like the end of your season, the end of January. So we have these new beginnings and you're realizing, this is so exciting because you realize that everything you just went through throughout your season, throughout the last month, was just building this wisdom, building these lessons for you to just tuck away in your little metaphorical toolbox that will propel you forward. So So we have new beginnings. You're walking out into the world, you're leaving a door behind, and you're like, you know, it's like, okay, I'm out here now. The world is my playground. I have all the tools I need. How am I going to make the best of that? So everything you go through this month, good or bad, recognize, even if it sucks when you're going through it, recognize that you are building your toolbox. You know, you're building these skills, these ways of moving that you might not be used to, but it is paving the way for you to walk a whole new path. Maybe not a whole new path, but just, you know, seeing the world differently, seeing the way you operate differently, seeing the way your present is walking towards your future differently. And then right from the new beginnings, which is a major arcana, it's like after we do all this inner work, we come into this new territory. We go right from 0 to 21, which is the last card of the major arcana, so that's like a cycle completing. Props to you guys. And this is universe. So recognizing that the same thing you are made out of, everything else is made out of. Recognizing that, you know, you are just this little cosmic being in the world, and you get to do whatever you want to do with your life. And it's going to be very empowering for you. New beginnings and into this new soul, like not new soul, but just this soul state that like sets you up, sets you on fire. You're recognizing your old habitual patterns that were not working for you, and you have the chance to develop all these new ones. So recognize, okay, how does my body feel when I enact these new things in my physical realm? And you'll start seeing like the doors will open up, life will open up, your eyes will open up, and you'll be like, oh my gosh, I know what I need to do. And then, yeah, so right after this transition from new beginnings, realizing that you are made of this cosmic material that is your vehicle for life, that you can do whatever you want with, we have material harvest, which number 9, the end of a cycle. And it's in the physical world. So you'll realize that all these changes, all these emotions, all these things you've been working through are helping you bring down your ideas to reality and have this material harvest, whether it be abundance, whether it be the people around you. Material harvest. That's amazing for you guys. So we're going through this cycle here, and this is going to be a very fiery month for you guys. Figuring out what ignites you, what choices you need to make, what wasn't working, and what you must now put in place to work better for you. Like I said before, your soul will thank you. Do the work. And I have 2 spirit animals for this month for you guys. So first we have the tiger. And this has the element of fire. So this is going inward, and so like tigers hunt at night. During the day they take care of themselves and they move in silence, you know. So it's like doing things to feed you, to feed your soul, to feed your fire, even if no one else is appreciating it. Do it for you. Do it for you, okay? Like, right, like feisty energy, but also quiet. Quiet, go in solitude. Feed your tiger, feed your own self, and you'll realize how much more powerful you can be once you start going inward, once you quiet down, once you start feeding the soul and the parts of you that weren't quite getting nourished before, if that makes sense. And then we have the lizard. It's also a fire element. And it kind of reminds me of like a chameleon, so it's like feeding your fire, but also letting all the colors you have like kind of come through, exploring all the parts of yourselves that you didn't quite let them kind of come out, like, you know, into the physical. You're just keeping them in. So start exploring these other parts of you that you want to experiment with, and find your colors. Like, what are your true colors? Find them and start chasing them, you know, the things that kind of spark your soul. Go after those, like this movement towards some decisions. Right, we're gonna pick the door that best fits us, that we most feel pulled to. The tiger also shows trusting your intuition, right? It's not like tigers are seeing everything, like all the prey in the whole world when they're out on a hunt at night. They feel it, they can hear it, they're tuned in to what they need. So tune into your intuition, see what you need, talk to your soul more, become comfortable with yourself. This is going to be a very transformative month for you. Even if it started out a little bit rocky, we're going into this brand new territory. Stand your ground, figure out what sets you on fire. We're building new foundations, or we're going back and like recognizing what foundational work works for us and what doesn't, and going in and refining that to build this strong foundation that if anything crashes down, it will not waver your foundation, right? Anyway, good month for you guys. It's gonna be exciting. Let that fire come out of you. I know you're an earth sign and you're grounded, but like that's also why we gotta work on this, the base chakra. We're grounding ourselves in what we need. We're digging the roots, you know, we're getting in there, we're nourishing, you know, but also building our flame. I hope you enjoyed that. As always, take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Now I'll be back next month for you guys. I hope you finish out your season strong. Mwah.